Hello, my friends. Welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Amber Amrine. I'm a psychic medium and Reiki master in Usui, Karuna, and Crystal Reiki. And I wanted to talk about names. So, words obviously hold value, but because we place value on them. There's a theory or a thought, or however you want to say it, philosophy, that words act as spells. How you talk to people, what you say to yourself, things you say aloud are essentially the same as casting a spell, which when you think about it, yeah, law of attraction, if you're saying, fuck you, bitch, to all of these people all the time, there's a bit of heavy attack energy that you're sending out, so naturally you're going to be put in situations that may be a little bit more problematic. Whereas if you're always telling things around you that you love them, that you're grateful for them, naturally you will be met with a lot more love and gratitude back. Now, that being the case, I started thinking about names. Our name obviously is a big part of how we identify ourselves. We say, hi, my name is Amber, or my name is whatever. You don't just go and get to know somebody for who they are, but their name almost acts as this precursor, this introduction that weaves together all of who they are. And I started thinking about how I don't know why it literally, I knew that people are named after things, but in my head, it's like you have kids named Apple, and then you have somebody named, Joshua. And obviously a name like Joshua still holds meaning, but in my head, I just think about apple being a noun, a literal thing that you consume regularly. So it almost felt a little bit different, and I was thinking about how some people are named after, objects. And then I realized that I was named after an object. And for some reason, I have never really thought about that. I know that, obviously I know what amber is, the fossilized sap, but I never really thought about that to being similar to somebody named Apple or, I don't know. So it took me on this whole spin and I started thinking about things differently. And so I just wanted to pop on here real quick and share. So I was drawn to Google the meaning of amber, the little gemstone thing. Let me see, I'll read it to you. And I found that its meaning resonated with me in a very peculiar way, which has blown my mind. So, among the Vikings, amber was believed to be the tears of Freyja, I don't know how to pronounce that, their goddess of love and beauty. She wore a necklace called Brisingamen, made by 4 dwarven craftsmen of gold and amber. To the ancient Greeks, amber was the tears of the daughters of Apollo, the sun god. So, both of those have to do with tears. I am a Cancer Gemini cusper, but technically, I think I'm technically Cancer. I am very emotional. I always have been. So the tears thing is something I resonate with a lot just because I feel a big part of my upbringing has been to embrace the fact that I am sensitive and that's okay and that it's not a weakness and it's okay to release, and tears are actually very cleansing. It's water. It's just very clarifying. It's like when it's raining outside. Almost feels like there's a clarification that happens outdoors. So that was interesting. Okay, just a cool little tidbit, no problem. Amber is thought to help absorb negative energy and to release bright, soothing energy, helping to calm nerves and enliven disposition like a mental, sunny day. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I've been told by a lot of people that I help brighten them up. So I was like, that's kind of cool. I resonate with that. The different colors of amber are often used on the chakras with corresponding colors to facilitate opening and cleansing. Yellow amber has been used traditionally by natural healers to improve memory, increase mental flexibility, and create balanced decision-making. This is where it starts to get very interesting. I've always had a obsession with memory and being able to memorize a lot at once. When I was a kid, I was pursuing acting. I'm now pursuing dance, both of which require you to memorize a lot of things. And it's always been this weird obsession of mine to be able to hold as much in my head as fast and as efficiently as possible. I also pride myself in being able to hold a vast range of perspectives and understanding at once, being able to kind of sympathize and empathize and understand the intentions of various sides. So I feel like that whole mental flexibility thing is in there. And then balanced decision making. I've always had such a hard time making decisions, and that's one thing that I remember when I was a kid, I was standing in the driveway. My dad was going to go grocery shopping. And it was like, okay, do you want to stay home and clean with my mom, or do I want to go grocery shopping with my dad? And I said, I don't know. And I was standing in the driveway, and they're like, you have to make a decision. And I literally started crying. So I was like, I don't know. Just tell me which one. I can't. So that has been something that I have had to really work on, and I have then helped other people kind of learn how to better make aligned decisions for themselves. That's been a constant in my life. Amber has also been used historically as a talisman for courage and self-confidence, and was thought to bring good luck to warriors in battle. So courage and self-confidence, I come from, I had I experienced trauma of PTSD, and I suffered severely from very low self-esteem and self-confidence, which has also been something, me healing from that is something that I now work with other people to overcome. That's something that is kind of at the forefront of the work that I do. I've been told by many people that I bring them luck, just in the little things, which is kind of cool. In some cultures, amber symbolizes the renewal of marriage vows and is used to assure promises. It is worn by elders as a symbol of their endurance and wisdom. I'm very much a committer, so I thought that was kind of cool. Just promises and holding promises and being true to yourself. Okay, so I read that, and I thought that was very interesting that I resonated so much with what the gemstone naturally is about. Oh, I just had this hit me right now too. This thing says it also represents both knowledge and history, good for past life regression and divination into the past. One thing I'm very passionate about is the idea that time is not linear, that we can navigate through various parallel universes. That's something when I was 16, I wanted to write a book about that. I was very passionate about it. Amber literally has a fossilized thing inside of it that kind of bridges our history here. I've said this before, the earth is a living library. There are fossils deep within the earth from creatures that have been around hundreds of thousands of years ago, and we are here with them. We are seeing the aftermath of it, and there's like this interesting connection of being able to tune into different phases of the earth and different phases of our lifetimes and our soul and all of this stuff, and just kind of bridging the timelines to everything. So I was like, that's very interesting. I never really considered that before, and I feel that the meaning behind my name is very fitting. And what is interesting is throughout my life, whenever somebody would be like, oh, wait, what's your name? I would say Amber. A lot of times they would be like, April? And I'd say, no, it's Amber. That would happen so many times. Sometimes I'd get Amanda too, but mostly April. And that always threw me off because it was like, I don't know, something about it was like, why isn't I feel like I'm articulating Amber. I don't know. It's just something that's always been in my mind. And I feel like, in a way, I wasn't fully ready to step into the role of what Amber represents, whereas now I do. And so that doesn't happen anymore. Okay, now, my middle name is Marie. I was looking up the meaning of Marie, and bear with me, this is going to circle back in a second. I was looking up the meaning of Marie, and it means beloved or something like that. Where is this? Yes. Beloved. It can also mean rebellious. It can also mean drop of the sea or bitter. Okay, so beloved, that's normal. Rebellious. I do have a slight issue with authority, and I do like to do what I want. I'm very stubborn. Not too strong, but no, I'm pretty stubborn. I've gotten better, but it's definitely there. Drop of the sea. A long time ago, my mom had this channeling session where she found out that her and I had a past life together in the fairy realm where we were sisters, and our father was water, or Poseidon, or whatever you want to call it. I have had, and if you've been around for a while, you know this story. I've said it many times already, but I have had a fear of water since I was a baby. I hated if there was water, like even washing my hair, I'd be like I wasn't able to breathe. I hate water. I hated it. I was scared of it. I was scared to swim in it. I was scared of drowning. It's just water is a big fear that I've had to overcome, and it's a very long story, and I've spoken about it on the podcast before. But I've really come to reclaim my relationship with water, and now I find it to be one of the most powerful, soothing tools and little pals that I have in my practice and in my day-to-day. So I still talk to the ocean. If I'm having a hard day, I'll drive to the beach and I'll talk to the ocean, calling for my father that I had that one lifetime, and, kind of just having a conversation with him. So having Marie mean drop of the sea is very interesting. The bitter thing, I'm not sure. I don't really resonate with that. I'm not bitter. I don't hold grudges, so I don't know. Maybe that's the point. Okay, and then my last name is Am Rhine, which in German means on the Rhine. The Rhine is a river. I am very connected to fairies. Again, there's water, another water element. Each of my names has a water element in it. Fairies love bodies of water. It's just kind of all piecing together my identity a little bit, and it really blew my mind. So I feel like some people obviously don't resonate with their names. Some people change their names, and I feel like the name itself doesn't matter, but I do feel like having a name, having a sound that we identify as, that really resonates with us, is very important, because everything has an energy to it. And naturally, if you say, it's like if somebody's scared that, like, this is an extreme example, but if somebody had a bad upbringing, they had a really abusive parent, and they're like, I never want to be like my parents, or whatever, and they have this big fear about that. Naturally, because there's this fixation on their parents, they may start to exhibit behavior that kind of aligns with the abusive behavior that they went through as a child. That's a heavy and extreme example. But looking at a name, if you have a name, actually, let me do a better example because I don't want to leave it in the negative. If you are really passionate about making a difference in the world, or being a big, a big conservationist or something, where there's a will, there's a way. If you're fixating on something and labeling yourself as it, and feel it from the inside out that you are that identity, it will be so. Like attracts like. With a name, names hold frequency, and I don't feel like the necessary meanings behind the things matter. It's what it means to you, and the vibe it gives off for you. For example, with Marie and the bitter thing, that's not something that resonates with me, but there are tidbits of the energy of the name itself that I resonate with very much so. And that's what matters. It's it's kind of like if you are holding a sunflower, there are facts as to what the sunflower is, how it's shaped, the color, it's like those are facts. For somebody, a sunflower may bring them great joy. For another person, they may be allergic to it, so they do not like sunflowers, and it's like represents just hell and feeling bad to them. Somebody else could be colorblind, and the colors that they see on the flower are completely different than the other two people. You know? Doesn't matter. The sunflower is still the sunflower. But our relationship to the sunflower is what forms a bond and an identity. So the same holds true with names. A specific vibration, a sound, will hold a specific identity. And I feel like if you can kind of sit with your name or your nickname or whatever you call yourself, and or perhaps even if you want to change your name, like the names that you're considering, really sit with them and take out expectation, or just kind of take out your history with the name and just sit with the energy of it and break down how it makes you feel, what colors you correlate with it, what textures, what smells, what tastes, what sounds, what sensations, whatever. Just really make an abstract like category of what this name means, and then perhaps look up what it means to other cultures and see what parts are the same. You know, I feel like it almost helps piece together the energy of how you're presenting yourself to the world and how you're showing up. And if it's not feeling good, then I feel like changing a name to better fit your identity, creating a nickname, you know, that really empowers you, may be worth considering, because words and sounds, we live in the physical, you know, all of our senses are very much in collaboration with our experience here, and you know how we go about things and how we're perceived, and you know it's just we're so hyper fixated on the physical. So having a word, a name, sounds that really make you feel like you and allow you to really show up as yourself, I feel like shouldn't be underestimated. I feel like it's very powerful, and yeah, I don't know, I think there's just a lot of power there that I didn't consider before. And I think just this tiny little mini deep dive into my name has made me feel very empowered. And it's been kind of cool. So I just would recommend exploring that for yourself. I don't know, just a fun little thing to think about. But I'm sending you love, my friends. Thanks for being here. I'll see you very soon.